Hi everyone, this is the Kaikoura Peninsula Walk. This part of the entry you kind of have to go into the woods and go up a little bit before you come down. I don't think you come down this side, I think you come down on the other side, but a lot of the Peninsula Walk is walking along the coast. And look at this insane formation and how high up we are. Yeah, see, that's the part that I want to get to, but I don't know why we had to come this way. So the Peninsula Walk, if you start on the other side, it's also all very ground. You just end up walking along the coast, and it's really fun to like skip over the platforms, the stones. I just think it's so cool how low tide it is and how you can see all the rocks. And then on the other side of the peninsula, you see all the seals and the pups, and there's some mountains. Yep. So while I'm walking, I came to this point to drop Sophie and Maxine off. Let me just wipe this. To drop Sophie and Maxine off and do a little bit of this part of the walk. And it's quite cool because now I get to see this very, very interesting stones and like ground, and see how shallow it is before it drops. And we bid farewell somewhere inside because I need to go about my day. I'm going to leave Kaikoura and drive to stop by Gore Bay and then drive to Christchurch and then check in Christchurch at around 6 to 7 p.m. I'll be getting fish and chips, so I'll just get extra for dinner so that I don't have to worry about dinner or cook, because yeah, I just want to have an earlier, easy night. And I decided to do this because I just had some thoughts being by myself yesterday and this morning as well, and I feel like this is the unglamorous part of like traveling that people don't really talk about and like people don't really post about, because there's so much content to share that you wouldn't end up sharing like the negative stuff. There's already like an overwhelming amount of like good stuff to share that is already like info overload, right? But the reality is, like, I have my seasons, especially when I'm on my period, where I'm quite a bit lower. Hey, I should try going down here. We came up this way. Where, like, I'm a little bit lower. And I think it's like, yes, there's still a lot of good stuff happening. Even on the days where it's a bit low, you still see beautiful things. But when I am, like yesterday, when I was seeing the beautiful seal colonies and rock formations on the other side of the peninsula, and like looking at this beautiful sunset and sharing that with like random strangers who we would like randomly exchange information with, or like just say hi in passing. This guy from Israel, he was doing his run in nothing but a pair of shorts and it was kind of windy. He would like stop and we were just like talking about like where we're from and like just looking at the crazy skies together. The sky is not that crazy, but it was beautiful, and it's in those moments, and it's just quiet also, and this is like overwhelmingly beautiful and nature-esque, that in these moments I wish I had like a loved one to share it with. Just look at that, like randomly just like drying out there. You just, you know, it's like you're seeing all this, you're traveling stones, like walking on stones, and you just think it's so cool. And if that were me, and that was me yesterday, it's like, it's beautiful, but it also kind of feels lonely, and it also feels like I'm missing something, like I'm missing someone. And I guess it's especially in these moments that like I really wish I wasn't alone, and I wish I had like a special someone to share it with, like someone who's like always gonna be by my side, or like even just like loved ones or like special friends, because yeah, it makes a difference. And when you're in something so magical and mystical, you just have this desire to like share it, like have shared that moment with somebody and not just like to yourself. And maybe I don't understand the value of like having this time to myself because I'm not a mom yet, and I'm not like, you know, like I know that for a lot of parents, like they crave and they're so appreciative of the time that they have to themselves. And like I still do, like I'm an introvert, so like I do every part of my day I need some time to myself, and like I love it. But there are definitely moments where like you wish you had someone to share it with, and you wish you had your joys to split to share with, to double with. You wish you had your sorrows to like share with. And then those are the moments where like you can't help but like cry a little bit, or like wonder if you're doing life correctly, because you're seeing things that are crazy, insane like this. And then instead of like being in complete awe and gratefulness of like what God has created, there is also this like sadness. And there's also this sadness, which is what makes me sad, that there is sadness in like all this beauty. Sometimes, not all the time, just like that. And yeah, and then this morning too, just like sitting at the seaside lodge, and being thankful for the peace, but also feeling a little bit uncertain and unsteady, because I'm again all by myself. And like when you're all by yourself, there's always this sensation that you need to, I don't know if everyone's this way, because I'm a highly sensitive person, but highly sensitive people tend to be hyper vigilant as well. And when I'm by myself, that hyper vigilant goes up for like security reasons, right? And yeah, it's just, it would be a lot nicer to not have that underlying like anxiety, I suppose, and the underlying like sense of like needing to watch out for myself. And also just like wanting to be able to share in like such beautiful views with people, you know? And like I want to be able to do this crazy beautiful long ass 3-hour walk, and when I have thoughts, be able to share those thoughts with somebody and be able to hear like what somebody else thinks. And like this are these moments where you have like nothing distracting you, no stimulation, no emails, no whatever, are the moments where like really deep conversation, really deep thought happens. And it would be so nice to be able to do that kind of conversation with a friend, like Anita. If like I had Anita walking with me, I'm sure, like we've been friends for so long, but like I'm quite sure that like there would be a side to her that I would have never had known, or like stories that I would have never had known. And not just like Anita, like so many different people I would love to have that conversation with. And of course, like the person I'm dating, like I would want nothing, like I would want so much to like have this environment, this conversation, this time, this headspace with him, this memory with him, but like I don't. And that's what's sad sometimes about traveling. And after 3 months, I think it's like kind of hitting to, like after 3 months of like having the time to myself, I think it is getting to a point where I am wondering if I'm missing home, or like missing a stable community, or if I'm missing like the point to life. And maybe the point to life is not to see beautiful things or be in beautiful places. Maybe the point in life is to like be with the people you love. It's just sad because from where I come from, the people I love are there, but the place does not make me feel like I have the capacity to love, because it stresses me out. It overwhelms me. And sometimes even the people are overwhelming, and the way they want me to exist in that world is overwhelming and too much for me sometimes. So the other thing about traveling alone, like solo traveling, is that you have to handle everything on your own, and it gets really tiring. I know I've said this quite a few times already, but I think it's so easy to underestimate like how much goes on in your head all the time, and the pressure that can feel quite a bit, because there's so much logistics, and the pressure of like needing to like maximize each day, because each day you're like paying rent, you know, especially this working holiday thing. I think there's a glamorous side to it. The way I've been doing it is very glamorous, except the whole not eating out and like only staying in hostels things is not as glamorous. But like other than that, the holidaying part is glamorous, right? The having a car and like driving all around is glamorous. But I mean, New Zealand is freaking glamorous. Like what? But it's overwhelming. Like yesterday on like period day 3, I started getting really tired from driving, and I was only driving like 3 hours plus. I was getting tired from listening to the German songs non-stop. Like I just wanted to listen to my quiet music for a while. yeah, I don't know. It's like when I got to my dorm at hostel, I just didn't really want to do anything. But thankfully, I was close enough to the walk that I just had to come out to do the walk, see sunset, and thankfully the sunset was nice. But it's just like the constant like in my mind it was like, okay, I still have to find a place that I'm gonna stay at Christchurch. Okay, I still don't know like what am I gonna do about like how am I gonna spend tomorrow. I know some of you will like listen to this, especially when you have like life and death issues, and then you'd be like, okay, big deal, like you're stressing over like your own holiday stuff. And like, yes, it's not like, it's technically in the grand scheme of things not a big deal, but when you're like constantly in this like need to go, or like there's no one else that will help figure out my life, and when you're so nomadic, it is still like always at the back of my mind. And every time I do my finances, it's like, look at these birds. They look like penguins, but they're not. They're called like the preet spud or something like that. It's a type of bird, but preet shack, that's what it's called. They look like penguins, but they're not. Yeah, so it's just a lot to figure out, and after a while, 3 months of that, it gets tiring, and there are some moments where I wish I didn't have to drive myself. There are some moments where I wish I was the passenger princess, where I wish there was someone who would cook my meal for me, or like help me with laundry, or like figure out like where am I gonna stay, and just pick up the slack sometimes. I definitely miss the comfort of a home and just staying put. I definitely miss like waking up and knowing that that's my bedroom, knowing that that's my kitchen, knowing that like mom has food ready for me, you know, and that like someone will do the laundry and you will have enough underwear, and like just because you didn't go grocery shopping doesn't mean there wouldn't be food, because someone else would do it, and you can just go out and do whatever you want to do. So living nomadically is tiring, and then the working holiday thing is also tiring, because like how are you going to do it? Like do you want to just woof around where you get to stay in people's houses and then you don't ever have to worry about handing out a resume and like going for interviews and like paying for rent in a city for like a couple of weeks at a city, and then blowing that money in the city for rent, and then not hearing back from employers because they take their own sweet time to decide whether they want to hire you or not. And then if you do get a job, like you can only do casual work, you can only do like housekeeping, bartending, wait staffing, traffic police, marshal stuff, like things that or like customer service, things where like you have your own day-to-day stress, or you don't have the stress but you keep your head down and you just do like quiet work, like, and then not know anybody, not have any community, or do you want to, like, the other option is that, at least for me, the struggle has been finding a town or a city that I feel comfortable enough to like live in, because it's like big enough where like there's something to do even if I don't know anybody and don't make any friends, and comfortable enough where like I can be alone and around in, and like not mind doing some dead-end job by myself, you know. Oh my god, look at the amount of bird shit from just parking here for 1 hour. All this white stuff, brand new. Oh, I really made a mistake coming under this tree. Okay, so this was the bird on the rock. It looks like a penguin. Or the reality is, if you don't woof and you want to find paid work, then you gotta prepare resumes. You gotta hand them out in person. You gotta go to the town where there is work, and you find work in a really inefficient manner. Like down here, you can't like email and apply online and expect that they'll get back to you. Most of the jobs happen because they're hospitality, and most of the jobs happen because they got to see you in person and decided that like, okay, they don't mind like who you are and how you are. And it's just frustrating and very inefficient. And a lot of times that means that like you gotta spend 2 to 3 weeks camping out at a place somewhere, sometimes 2 to 4 months camping out at a place somewhere, just to just to hand out resumes and hope that someone calls you back, you know? So it's just, that's its own stress. That is honestly its own stress, and all that costs money, and that's the reality. Like, a lot of people I've met haven't had work for a while. I'm gonna turn around so you can see really big ducks and also see that. Yeah, so I think that's the very unglamorous truth about working holiday. It's, you're either working a lot like the Japanese do. I've noticed something, the Japanese who come and do working holidays, they will find one job and they'll stay in it for like as long as possible, and they basically earn money and they don't holiday. And I feel like that's very restrictive because they don't have time to really see New Zealand, and like, it's like, what do you come here for? Just to like earn money. But that way, that gives you money. Or you do the other way, which is like what a lot of us do. We end up trying so hard to find work and getting stressed about it and like blowing on rent money here and there, waiting for a job to show up. But then you spend so much investing in that it doesn't happen easily, and I don't know, it's just not efficient. So there are a lot of struggles with working holiday, and I think it's common to think like, oh, maybe I picked the wrong country because like New Zealand's so expensive. It is so expensive, but I don't think it's just that. I think it's also just because I hear like Australia having a similar issue as well. It's just that Australia, they do pay, like Australia's equally expensive, but they do pay a little bit better for each job. They pay better, so you are earning a little bit more, you're saving a bit more. But the reality is like you're doing physical labor and you're earning just enough. You're earning just enough to get you by, to sustain your lifestyle, so that you can live flexibly, I guess. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that it comes with its own stress, and this doesn't seem to be an issue that is just in New Zealand or just in Australia. I think it's quite universal, no matter where you go. So this is the unglamorous side and the truth and the reality of a working holiday. I get to have random conversations like that in a National Geographic frame. I honestly wish someone was taking a photo of me and like taking videos of me, because like this is freaking wild. Like, I don't know if you can see this. Firstly, I think this happens through like erosion with water and sand and wind over time. But like, look at these amazing streams and channels that happen. Like, we were looking at this from above, right? And if I was here with someone else and I had more time, I was more brave, I'll just take my shoes off, I'll be wearing slippers, and I maybe put on like swimming clothes and I'll just go walk in the water and just spend the whole day doing this. And I think I could, and I'll be brave if I lived here and I had so much time. There's nothing else to do here. There's honestly nothing else to do here. Sorry, Kaikoura, but it just feels that way. But because I'm on the move and I'm on the go and time is money and I don't have anyone here and I'm not brave enough to do things by myself. Sometimes. This one, okay lah, this one brave enough. If I had time and like literally bought out of my mind. Cause this is just crazy. Like, who gets to swim with like seagulls and walk with ducks and like for so far out and like walk on the stone all the way out there where that guy is fishing? It's just, this is insane. Like, this part of nature is freaking insane. So my summary is, earn your money. I think my conclusion for today is this. My opinion for today is this, and it'll probably change. Earn your money. Earn good money. I don't know how. That one you have to figure out. Then spend your money holidaying around. I don't think a working holiday is the solution to a lot of life's problems. I think it's honestly its own stress, and that's why my eczema is like way out of control and flaring every other hour now. But New Zealand's a wonderful place to come holiday. I don't think it's a great place to live for more than a few months, just because it's crazy expensive. But if you find a way to earn good money and come live here for a few months so that you don't feel like you have to like rush around the country as much or see everything, you would have a good break, like an actual break. Because right now I'm sort of in a break, but also not really in a break. it's been giving me a break. Like I have space to think about things and not be around people and not be influenced by people, but there's a lot of like logistics and mental work going on as well. And if you can holiday with your loved one, the joy doubles even more. So yeah.